name's Adrian Wren. I'm a board member of the Oak Park Neighborhood Association. Who here has heard of the Oak Park Neighborhood Association? Raise your hand. All right. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit here in Oak Park, focused on advocating for quality of life in the Oak Park neighborhood. We've been around for about 20 years. And team, I think it's our 20th anniversary this year, so we got a big party. Something fun to celebrate that. So today we're going to be having our first monthly meeting of 2026. We're excited to have the Food Literacy Center here. Raise your hands if you're affiliated with the Food Literacy Center. We've got several team members there. And they'll be talking about the future of the Oak Park Farmers Market. So looking forward to that discussion. And then we also have the developer of IBEX Ventures, correct? Is that the name of the organization? They're developing the spot next to Broadway Coffee at 3206 Broadway, I think. So we'll be hearing about that project. We'll give feedback and asking questions and stuff. Then we'll have announcements toward the end of the meeting, a little after 7, okay? We'll be at it around 7. Does that sound good? Okay. We always start these meetings with introductions around the room, so folks get to say who they are, and people see who's in the room, which is always fun. Let's start right here. We got the best hat in the room. Let's so just name and if you live in the neighborhood, where you are.
Hey, happy New Year, everybody. Yes, happy New Year. I'm Lonnie Warren, on World Class Faders Barbershop and World Class Scholars Salon right along 34th and Broadway and 3rd Ave. Glad to be here.
Hey everyone, I'm Gerald. I live over there off of like 37 and 2nd. It's good to be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Violeta Gonzalez. I also live on 37th, and it's my first meeting.
Hi, my name is Margot, and I live on Broadway and 33rd, so I'm just coming.
Hi everyone, my name is Ida. I'm on 10th Avenue, 36th.
Hello everyone, my name is David Gusto. I'm with the Office of Mayor Ken McCarty. I do media relations and represent this area of the city as well as some other districts.
Hi, I'm Autumn. I'm co-lead of the Land Use and Government Relations Committee, and I live on 33rd and 4th Avenue.
Hi, I'm Alex. I also live on 33rd and 4th, and I also work at Evergreen.
Hello everyone, I'm Leon Willis, represent Sledgehammer Graphics. I don't live in the neighborhood, but I work here, and I'll be doing a project here with Alpha and CDC later on this year.
Hello, my name is Holland. I am new to Oak Park. I live on 3rd and 32nd. Good to be here.
First time?
My name is Carol Ashford, and I live on 32nd Street and 12th Avenue.
Hello everyone, my name is Phoenix and I live on 15th Avenue and MLK.
Hello everyone, my name is Maisha Ross with the Office of Senate Majority Leader Ashford.
Hey everyone, my name is Isabel Cruz. I'm the board secretary. Happy New Year. And I live off of 42nd and 7th. If you live near me, say hi.
Hi, I'm Sumiko Hong. I work at Aggie Square, so I work at the corner of 2nd Avenue and South.
Hi, my name is Linda Blackwell, and I live on 1932.
Hi, my name is Patricia, and I live on 6th Avenue and MLK, around the corner from where the hospital is today.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm the current vice president of the Oak Park Neighborhood Association, and I live on 10th and 35th.
Hi, my name is Tom Sumter. I live on Byron Alley and 33rd.
We're going to go over here. You told me you had to leave. I'm sorry for not starting with you.
Hi everyone, I'm James Harrington. I'm the captain of our police department's East Command. Happy to be here. I'll get to bounce around all the different neighborhood associations. I haven't been able to hit OPNA since, I think it was July or August of last year, so I'm glad to be here. You will normally see my executive lieutenant, Sabrina Briggs, here, or someone else from our team, so thank you. Thanks.
All right, let's go this way.
Hi, I'm Alicia Brown. I'm with
I'm Rosemary Rose. I'm on the OPNA board, and I live on the
Hi, my name is Doreen Williams, former board member. I live in the Literacy Center, and I live on 33rd. Hi, Amber Scott, and I work at Food Literacy Center.
Hi everyone, Adriana Guzman, and I'm with Food Literacy Center as well.
See, Food Literacy Center, roll geek today. Let's see. We have our esteemed board member.
Yo, Michael Blair. I'm not with the Food Literacy Center. But welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Emily. We just moved to 37th and 1st in October, and we're really excited to get involved in the neighborhood and the community.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aaron Jones. I, like my wife Emily, are a new resident here in Oak Park, and I also work for Congresswoman Doris Matsui. It is a privilege to live amongst you and represent you at the federal level. Thanks for listening.
Good evening, I'm Rochelle Disney. I'm the Director of Homeowner Services with Habitat for Humanity Greater Sacramento.
Hi everyone, my name is Kenny Berkey. It's my first time tonight, and I live on 2nd Avenue.
My name is David. I'm part of the Oak Park Association. I'm interested in the topic tonight.
Hello, my name is Ralph Guerra. Been in Oak Park since '97, and first time here. I just want to see what's going on and the changes that are being made, because I know it's real important for all of us. That would be.
Hi, my name is Naomi Bevins, and I live on 2nd Avenue and 33rd. I am second listening at Pelican.
Hi, my name is Maria Mancia. I live on 33rd, and I'm an insurance agent, and also have my own balloon service. So.
Okay, good enough.
Hello, Alex Viglione. I'm here representing Growth Factory nonprofit. We're moving to Aggie Square in just a couple of weeks. We'll be down in the neighborhood. We provide business and entrepreneurial training for Oak Park neighborhood high school students.
Hi everyone, my name is John Mortimer. I live 43rd and 8th Avenue-ish.
Hello, my name is Antoinette Edwards, and I am the new administrator for Synergy Programs, which is about 5 minutes here. We deal with the mental health environment. So this is my first time here, and I'm glad to be here.
Hi, my name is Athena Michelle. So my children, Camila and Phoebe, we're over on 4th Avenue. We've been in the neighborhood almost 10 years and been attending the market longer, so I'm excited to hear what's in store.
Everyone, I'm Sam Greenlee. I live on 1st Avenue near 39th, and I'm happy to be here today.
Good evening. My name is Jerome Anderson. I'm the COO of Crownline Coaching and Consultant. I'm also a crisis intervention worker, supplementary with lived experience, and I work with the youth out here as well. And I'm happy to be here tonight. Thank you.
Charles Blair, Oak Park homeless. I live right here on 12 Martin Luther King.
Hello everyone, my name is Pernella Morris. I do not live in Oak Park, but I love this area. I'm from Warville. I'm the founder of Restoring Our Community. I sit on the board for Sacktown Mardi Gras. Just received a business license to do business here in Sacramento, and I do look forward to communicating with several of you in the room, because I've been writing names and where you work, so you can pop up at your door.
Hi everyone, I'm Eric Soto with Ibex Ventures. We'll be presenting the after today. I live in Curtis Park on 2nd Avenue, so I'm just nearby. I'm excited to meet everyone today.
Good evening, everyone. My
My name is Cecile Nunley. I don't live in the area. I live over in East Sac. However, I do work at a community garden. I have a plot and I do a lot of the gardening there. And I'm hopeful that Oak Park will be supportive of anything that we're doing. We love to see more people join us and get plots and get growing food. So we love that. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mary Ponder. I work for River Oaks and with the children. I recently moved into the area, so now I'm a community my program that I'm running through River Oak is called Building Strong Families. So I would like to do this survey with families that need assistance. So at any time, if you can talk sometime after the meeting, that'd be great.
Thank you, and I think we have an additional guest. Just introduce yourself, and if you live in the neighborhood or hang out in the neighborhood.
Yeah, Pretty Blaine, Private Adventures, second.
Great, thank you. So let's get my food literacy center folks over here. We actually have, one thing we do at our Oak Park neighborhood meetings is we film them. We film the meetings, so we always have to determine which is going to be the front of the room. So today we've determined this is the front of the room. So congratulations, you'll be in the video. That's just how it works. So without further ado, as a big fan of the Oak Park Farmers Market, I'll turn it over to Amber.
Well, thank you. We have a bunch of our team here today because, I first want to thank everybody that came out and supported the market the last few years. 3 years ago, we took over the market with the support of Joni Titherington, and we had funding from then Assembly Member, now Mayor, Kevin McCarty, as well as several other partners like UC Davis Health. And that seed funding has basically run its course. And the sad news is that there isn't enough to replace that seed funding. And without those resources, we're going to have to close the Oak Park Farmers Market. So last year was the last season. Sadly, I know. But it's not it's an expensive program from our perspective. And so I partnered with Joni. I founded Food Literacy Center about the same time Joni was founding the Oak Park Farmers Market. And we partnered, when we got our nonprofit status, we held a party at the Oak Park Farmers Market to celebrate with Joni. So I've shopped there and been a supporter for a very long time. And when Joni came to me with the idea of helping her bring it back, I was very honored. I have a lot of respect for Joni and Doreen. And, she handed me her baby. And in some ways I feel like I have let her down, but not for lack of trying. Doreen stepped in when Joni got sick, and we truly poured our hearts out. The whole team has worked super hard to make that market thrive, and we just couldn't get the customers back that we needed. And then, of course, the farmers don't stay because they don't have enough customers, and it's this cyclical problem. And then put on top of that the fact that it's very expensive to run. So our nonprofit continues to serve the Oak Park community. Our main thing that we do is we go into low-income or Title I elementary schools, and we teach hands-on cooking and nutrition classes. We're trying to get kids excited about eating their vegetables to protect their long-term health. And so bringing on the market really tied in with that mission, because if we're going to inspire kids to eat their vegetables in school, we want them to be able to also purchase them and go home with them. Right now, I think the biggest reason that the market wasn't sort of able to get off the ground, honestly, I think it's the economic climate, right? the cost of things is just bananas. And what we're seeing with the students that we serve and the families that we serve in our elementary schools is they need free food right now because grocery budgets are stretched so thin. So even shopping at a market, even with our market match, just was hard. So what we've done is we have increased what we do. So normally we go into a school, we teach a little hands-on cooking and nutrition class, and the kids get to cook a recipe and they eat it. And it's usually like a smaller snack. But what we're doing right now with the way that SNAP benefits are decreasing, and again, we know folks can't afford groceries from what we saw with the market. So we're just giving food away. And so Dream is now heading up that program, and we're expanding that at Food Literacy Center. It's much lower cost. We can partner with the food bank and get the food for free. And if we can get donations and grants, we can still partner with our farmers to make some small purchases. But that is our strategy for the foreseeable rest of this school year, is just showing up with free fruits and vegetables to our schools, many of which are in the Oak Park neighborhood. So I do want to answer questions. I did bring a budget in case anyone's interested. The numbers they're kind of scary. It cost us just under $10,000 per market. And we were only seeing about an average of 40 EBT customers a week. So that's like $250 a customer that we were putting into being there to make sure that the market could thrive. Our after-school program, where we're doing the hands-on cooking and providing free produce, that costs us only $8,000 for an entire 10-week session to reach 100 kids every week and their families. So dollar for dollar, it makes more sense for us to try to expand and get to more schools and reach kids and families in that way. So we'll never abandon Oak Park. Definitely all of our hearts are here in this community. Wanted you to understand why we had to make this hard call, but also that we do have some solutions that hopefully are helping. So, Drew, you want to add anything? I know it's hard.
Hi, everybody. I've been with the market. I live in Oak Park for a long time. I've been with the market. I moved into Oak Park. Just met people, wanted to see what's going on within months of moving to the neighborhood. I started working at the market. It's really been important to me, and I love seeing my neighbors there. A lot of you I've seen at the market week to week. We've become friends. It's really important to me, and I come from a food background, so it's just, I wanted to expose people to new fruits and vegetables and get them excited about them, and teach people new ways to cook and eat. And I really enjoyed that for the last, 10 plus years, and it's sad to see it go, but I understand that just the environment has changed, the customers' behaviors have changed. It's been really tough to get people out at the market the last couple of years, and I understand the cost of food. With this recent pause in SNAP benefits, we've really seen our families struggling. So it's like, I've been able to pull my energy in that. Right before the break at one school, we gave out 2,000 pounds of food to about, less than 100 kids, like 120 kids. It was a lot of food, but it's like just seeing the look on their faces. And we set it up like a farmer's market so they get that experience. We give them money and they go through it, but just knowing that this is going to help feed people and building business partners to bring in other foods. We got a local food business to donate tortillas and salsa, and we made little taco dinner kits, and the kids getting those and excited, meeting with the parents that I see week to week, and they're like, oh, I'm going to make a stew with this. Oh, we're going to have this and that and the other. So we're really working to serve the people as I can. As right now, we're doing 8 schools a week that we're giving food out to, and that's just showing up and doing the best we can. So we're going to keep looking for new ways to serve Oak Park. We have a couple of things in the fire with the business district, with some programs to do over the summer with kids and families, and also the work that we're doing within the schools. We'll be at Oak Ridge
me, the week after, for a 10-week session. So we're really trying to look at what the core problem is with food access here in the neighborhood and how we can help.
Questions?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions? Hi.
Is there any attempts to apply for any federal or state programs, the federal program, the Farmers Market Promotional Grant Program, and what was the result of that?
We actually had separate funding through UC Davis Health to do the market match, but with 40 EBT customers a week, just was small. And we did have people say, well, what if we could get a grant for 100,000 more? Our deficit this year, because we still have that seed funding, we still had a deficit of $7,000, and projected for 2026 was close to 200,000 that we wouldn't be able to fundraise. So for us, looking at the cost of programs and the cost of delivery and the cost of how many folks we can reach, just didn't make sense, even if we could raise more money, to put it into a solution that wasn't growing after 3 years of running the market. We thought it would be wiser to spend the money in expanding more schools and reaching more kids.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, we can get more money, but if it's not actually helping to address the problem, it's not the best use of time. We didn't want to put more funds into something that wasn't working.
Like, it's a lot of money spent on marketing. You know, I'd rather see that money go directly to families and kids and bringing more food out to them. So that was, at the end of the day, it was a decision, you know, that we did not take lightly, and it was a decision, you know, not just with staff, but with our board.
So this decision is final, man.
Yeah, the money isn't there. Even if we got more money,
it's really difficult to start a market. Unfortunately, we had a pause where the market wasn't open. So even though the market's been around for a long time, making up for the 2-year gap was very difficult, and we just couldn't get the customers back.
And it's also a different climate. Doreen and I both worked in the nonprofit sector our whole career, and there's a sort of a saying, right cause, right time. And when you're delivering a program and people aren't using it, typically it means it's not the right program. So if the problem was food access, we have better ways to meet that need. So that's really the decision that we have to take.
And I want to say, I know there's customers in the room, and it's tough. And I understand that a lot of people depended on the market and utilize the market, and you know, there's still more discussion of what comes next for that. But yeah, at this time we have to ensure we're being
Two things. Just for my notes, can you tell me the name of your nonprofit one?
Food Literacy Center.
And then I just wanted to thank you guys for that long period of dedication, because it's hard to see on the back end of that and not hear ways in the story. So thank you.
Oak Park Farmers Market was one of the first neighborhood markets outside of the one that was at Sears. But the problem came when, the confusion came when they moved the market from Saturday to Sunday, and then trying to bring it back, because all of our farmers have gone to Rancho, Midtown, Meadowview, but the Oak Park Farmers Market offered some of them, and this did for people, the food desert. And people had options.
Well, and one other thing that we factored into the decision was that Route 64 does still serve the community, and they started as a market, and we want them to thrive. And there were times where we felt like, are we competing because we have our farm stand at the same time as the farmers market? And they accept EBT, and they do EBT match there. So we do feel good about the fact that Route 64 is still a service in this community and reaches folks. So, you know, and I think they were part of the reason the Oak Park Farmers Market was very successful back in the day, and we don't want to take that away from them too. So there is at least something still out there.
I wanted to echo I have two things. I wanted to echo the thank you and commitment that you guys have done for the neighborhood. And then I wanted to ask, what school sites are you guys offering services to? And then another part where it's for those folks who don't necessarily have children but need like these free resources, are there programs that you guys are planning in the summertime maybe, or what do those look like? How are we offering that?
So our goal is to expand the number of schools we're in. We're going to be in 23 elementary schools in South Sac this year. And our goal is to continue to grow those schools. We want to be in 40 schools by 2027, so we're on a significant growth path there. And
we focus on Title I schools.
Yeah.
So, we've been to and continue to serve a lot of those schools here in the community to find the kids that have need.
And we list the schools that we're in on our website. And then about reaching others, and in summertime too, like when school is out, we are having conversations with Oak Park Business Association about maybe timing with First Fridays, doing some of our free kids farmers markets, and see if we can reach some families that way, so outside of the school
So
setting.
piloting a lot of stuff to see what the community wants.
It's a farm. And they started as a farm stand at the Oak Park Farmers Market, and they have a beautiful 1-acre farm in, well, off of 65th and 64th Street.
64th to 21st.
Yeah, you'll love their stuff.
I have a question. So I know you had talked a little bit about your model, like describing it as, like you go to a school and the kids they might have kind of a farmer's market experience. Could you talk a little bit more about like, if you were to do a pop-up at a school, maybe how much that would cost in comparison to putting on a whole market, and then what the experience would be for the kids?
Yeah, so we can run a kids farmers market for between like, depending on the number of kids, like around $1,000. And we do it as like an extra thing that we add on to the 10-week, we do a 10-week hands-on cooking and nutrition program. But the kids farmers market, we essentially, we set up a mini farmers market where the kids go home with a bag like that size, chock full of fruits and vegetables. Some we get from the food bank, but others we purchase because we want them to have a lot of really nice stuff. And we buy from local farms, and well, you have you're in charge now.
Yeah, so for anybody who may be interested, my new title at Food Literacy Center is Food Access Manager, and so I'll be spearheading these programs to make sure that we're getting food out to the families. So lots of fruits and vegetables. We buy a lot from our local farmers. And, you know, we get added things like sometimes we get spice kits or pasta or rice or like introducing to whole grains. And I have a lot of conversations with the kids when we're doing these distributions about the choices that they're making and the food that they're purchasing and how they can prepare it and how they can serve it. So it's been really fun to get the kids a part of that conversation of food and what it costs and like how they want to help feed their family. It's really excited when interesting and nice and exciting when kids come up and they're like so excited to share a sweet potato with their auntie or whichever, and they're like, oh, they're gonna make some dish that I never heard of and they can tell me about it. So it's been really fun, like educating and supporting the kids and families that way. We also do like recipe kits where we build, like we get a recipe and we give them all the ingredients for it, and we like help them still make some choice, like let's say seasonal veggies, and ask them like what kind of vegetables you like, and kind of encourage them to try new things. So it's been really fun. I'm enjoying doing it. I'm reaching so many more kids and families this way, and I'm also heading over our kitchen and like working on making sure that we're adding a lot of making sure we're representing a lot of cultures that we serve here in Sacramento, especially in Oak Park. So lots of cool things coming our way, and I forgot the last question. You had 3 questions? Oh, were they answering? Okay,
Any other questions? Any other questions, thoughts, ideas? Yeah.
What can members of the community or other organizations in town do to support you?
Well, thank you. We
Volunteer.
appreciate that. Yeah, we definitely need volunteers. And for the kids farmers market, we bring a lot of volunteers out because, you know, everybody stands next to a vegetable and passes it out, and you know, the little ones, they can barely lift their bag, so it's really fun if we have a lot of volunteers. Yeah.
And I need them because I'm getting a lot of food out in the community. So the more hands I have, the more food I can get out there. So.
People help drive fruits and vegetables from one place to another, stuff like that.
And we're pushing into some middle schools and high schools. This is new this year. We're going to be 4 middle schools and 2 high schools coming up. So I'm really excited to expand on some of the more basic recipe nutritions that we've been doing with the kids to the older kids and letting them explore and dive in.
I just want to, just looking fun already, like to say thank you, but I also want to underline that it's not a failure to buy groceries on any, at all, because I think it's really smart to be responsive to the community, as hard as it is, right? But I think it is the right thing to respond to what people need. So I just want to, my appreciation for you all.
My question would be, who do we connect with to try to build collaboration with you all, likely to the events that come up?
Yeah, we're going to be, like I said, lots of piloting. We have ideas of bringing back some community cooking classes and things of that nature. So we're serving, yeah, really like what does the community need and how can we be a part of it.
You guys have one question?
Do you guys set up, like that other movement, like the table?
It depends it depends on if it makes sense for the organization because we mainly work in schools, so we don't do a lot of that kind of outreach. But sometimes it makes sense to, you know, for serving the kids, yeah.
Just depends on the staff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Just a quick clarifying question. When you say you're in a school,
Yeah, sorry.
is that your 10-week program?
Yes, so we go to a school every week and we deliver
Yes.
hands-on.
So we have, a lot of people don't know this, but we have a cooking classroom in a student farm down off of Broadway and 5th in McClatchy. So we serve a lot of the kids at Leah Floyd Elementary, it's right next door to us. So all the kids there come over to get lessons with us, and then we go out to other schools to after school programs when we have field trips that come in. So it's a year-round kind of, as many kids as we can get in.
Well, thank you for having us. Thanks for letting us share the news with you.
So I imagine there, you know, we might now start hearing about this in the news, maybe, is that, or how's that going?
Yeah, so we actually need to talk to Joni next. We haven't told her. So Doreen and I are hoping to talk to Joni over the weekend, and then we'll send out an email letting the public know. So she's the last in-person conversation we need to have, so we didn't want to call it for the holidays.
Her birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah, that too, that too.
I'm aware of that.
So this weekend, we're going to be talking.
Thank you, seriously, you guys rescued the market, you guys did rescue the market. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there are other farmers markets in the South Sacramento area, around Sacramento. I know Sam didn't introduce himself as the executive director of Alchemist, which runs several markets, but he is. So Sam, is there anything, you know, maybe another market where folks should look for, or something you might encourage folks to do?
Yes, but first all, I want to validate so much what they said. Running farmers markets, if the customers aren't there, it just creates a cycle where it is so hard to sustain a market. You can do everything you can, and the market can just not make it. And they did everything. They put up every single stop to make that market work. It was incredible. So generous with the community in that market too. And also, the question you have about the federal grants, there are no grants out there to run a farmers market right now. There is a federal farmers market promotion program. They're not sending those awards to California anymore. And far too many people are applying for far too few grants. Those just don't exist. So I know it's not just an issue of the funding anyway, but the funding is also not there. So the market has to sustain itself as well. But following the question, I'll just note, the nearest markets here would be, you have the Sunday market under the freeway, across from Southside Park. It's also right by Lake Floyd, so if you drive over their campus, you can see the farm benefits. Florida Farmers Market Thursday mornings. It's a great market. Meadowview has a market seasonally in the summer. Those are the nearest. There are plenty more, but those are the nearest. Well, Midtown too, yes. Especially fine. Yeah, they're and you know, Oak Park always had a great vibe of like a lot of great other vendors beyond food, like beyond ag. They had craft products, and so yeah, Midtown follows a little bit more than that.
Thanks, Sam. Okay, thanks for your literacy center, folks. So now we're gonna go to our next item. I'm looking at this guy over here. So we have we talked about the space next to Broadway Coffee / Classy Hippie Tea. It has a new development proposal that we have the developers here today. This is what we want to be doing. We want to, like, when a new development project comes in, we want to have the opportunity to invite the developers here. Again, we have Autumn from our land use committee, you know, so if you want to do a deep dive on land use stuff, connect with Autumn and Loyal, who was here. But really excited to just hear from you guys about the project, anything you guys want to share, and give folks the opportunity to ask questions.
Thanks, Adrian. We had spoken with Autumn too as well. People want to know about the project. Hi everyone, I'm Eric Soto, and this is my partner Richard White with Jake. We are Untitled Chapter. We build apartments throughout Sacramento, and we wanted to be here to introduce the hatchery. The hatchery is located at 3206 Broadway, so it's right next to Broadway Coffee. It's that vacant parcel that's been vacant for, the past decade or so. It'll be 33 units, and of those 33 units, 4 units will be deed restricted to 80% area of the area median income, so 80% AMI. The goal of the project is really to achieve, more than half of the units to be serve the 80% AMI community. It'll be a mix of studios, lofts, and 1-bedrooms. And because of the proximity to the light rail station, there won't be any on-site parking. So it'll be 3 stories of 33 units, and we really just wanted to introduce ourselves and make ourselves available to the community and answer any questions you might have.
Who's familiar with the spot? Who's familiar with Broadway Coffee and Classy Hippie? It's a great place.
My issue with that is right there, I was on 2nd and 32nd. And I worked at a mental health institution from 2 to 10 at night. And when I came home, I couldn't find any parking. I had to park far away from the apartment I live. Not far away, but a block. Right there by where you're talking about. It's all at night, you can't find parking. I've got a car stolen, and people are drove into that park down the street back there. So when I first heard about it, there's no parking. It would seem feasible if there was parking underneath. I said, maybe we've got parking underneath. No parking underneath, I don't know. Where are they going to park?
That's fair.
Parking. And the problem is the neighborhood. We have 2 apartments that was already there in that area. And it makes my life harder. And all my neighbors have harder. You guys have put a pretty something hard.
We lived there since '97, and we know all our neighbors. We know a lot of, there's a lot of neighbors who built ADUs to deal with, also did add-on for housing. And all of our issues in those 30 years have been nothing but the apartment complexes. We have issues to this day with the apartment complexes. And I'm not talking little issues. It's gotten to the point now where people are being jumped, they're being assaulted. We had our cars, first our car became tore things off of it because of putting homes on the street as ownership of parking spaces. And we come in and we take those, you get assaulted, you get jumped. We have called landlords that live in San Diego that have property managers that are doing absolutely nothing. It has been problematic. And on a personal note, that lot's been empty for 30 years, and I have the misfortune of building an ADU for two special needs sons that I have that are working and are very active. They just aren't academically able to go to college degrees, and I have painlessly made it look like an Adobe because where I'm facing is that lot that you have up towards Natural Reception. And I wanted them to have an Adobe mission to look at when they come out. I also did a rooftop terrace was so that I could look out. The city only allowed me 20 to 24 feet high. I know you're doubling that. I paid 20 grand to put my wires beneath the ground so that to not add, the visible wires that are constantly multitude of wires. And I think that's a personal problem, but the fact that I'm going to be looking out, we financed our house for this project for our children. And I've given up all I had fruit trees in the back. That's all I have is that rooftop terrace to retire on. And I'm going to be looking out at wires now in the back of your dumpsters and the back of your building because there's no view anymore. Because you were allotted to go 34 feet versus I was only allotted to go 22 feet. And so we just cleaned up the alley because we have a food bank there also that gives out food twice a week. And they were parking all along the alley, blocking the alley. We just got them to go on the Broadway. Polka Dots was there. They would have specials and it would run around all the way around the corner again, problematic with parking. So it's just, I mean, it's not that we never expected that anybody would build there. I would say that at the very least, I wouldn't have thought that somebody would have gone taller than the buildings, the residential area. So, because all the palm trees right after the conception, the church itself, the bell ringing, I mean, those are the little pleasures that we have in our property, and the same with the food closet. I think they're running a school and hearing the kids running down the alley getting their PE. And I just don't see how this, I feel like you are matching the new buildings that are coming in down Broadway. But there are residents that live in the back to consider.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. I can share, I can understand your frustration, especially when you're facing the alley and then someone builds on the other side. It kind of changes your view. And we understand that. We'd be happy to have a conversation on what we can help to address the parking situation. This project has a history of 7 years of, a developer coming in, trying to find the land, going through permits, and doesn't get built, sits vacant for a while. They wait out the market, then it gets sold to another developer who comes in, doesn't plan, sits vacant for a while. And when we came onto the site about a year ago, we were trying to figure out, okay, this thing needs to get built because it's just a vacant parcel. And one of the ways we were able to do that was to completely densify and just eliminate the parking on the lot. What that helped us do was maintain, restrict our rents to the 80% AMI. If we had gotten rid of the first floor parking, we've had fewer numbers, the number of units, and the construction costs would rise. It's rents would have just have been high in order to afford the project, or it just wouldn't have pencil. That's kind of what we had. That was kind of our thought process and our solution to address the parking.
I have a question, please, if you don't mind.
Sorry, before, I would love to get your contact, especially because we're neighbors, and we can sit down, Broadway coffee.
I am worried, I'm very worried about studios, because it's not going to be families moving into these studios. So, and that's what we have, all those 4 apartments I'm talking about, like 600 square feet. And we have people with vans, with extension cords, going out to the vans, living out of the vans, and it has not been pleasant at all. And I'm all for low-cost housing. I'm all for people being able to live, but not when it brings problematic. And unfortunately, who knows how long they'll own that property, because we watch them go over and over, and get transferred, they go back to the banks, and come back, and it's not really pleasant for us. And they are ultimately the only problem in our neighborhood.
We'd love to hear more about that.
Thank you for helping develop my community. I am a 40-year resident of Oak Park. playgrounds right now, when you get ready to build it, was also one of my playgrounds for the kids. And I speak for the youth of Oak Park right now, right? As you guys are building and building and building, are you thinking about any space for where these kids that's going to be residing in these spaces that you guys are building? Are going to be able to reside safely and find a safe space where there's a teen center, something per capita of all these buildings in there, what you guys are building on those companies. They're charging us to use the community centers now for children. Right, we used to come here for free, get for right classes, just to be able to have a safe place. Now the kids have to be forced as part of the junkies to play. So I was wishing Lloyd was still here because this is a conversation we've been having lately. And we're trying to create safe places for the children also. That's not going to grow. So we're remembering all the parties that's going up.
Yeah.
We're forgetting about the places where the kids reside.
Yeah.
So I would love to have a conversation with you maybe possibly about how what that may be able to look like in the future. But you guys building so many apartments across the village. And we can have that conversation.
Yeah, of course, I have to have that conversation. I actually talked to Michael Benjamin, who works with Councilman Katie Maple's office. He was talking about, like, he used to go and play on the site too.
Yes.
So I understand that, and I think when we did the cleanup, the Oak Park cleanup, a few months ago, we went to the playground nearby, and it was just trash everywhere. I was finding cigarette butts and finding needles, we do want to create a safe space for the kids. Not unfortunately, but right now our focus is the housing community, and it is sort of the workforce housing, kind of the young career, early career people, especially for the hatchery, which is why we kind of played on the name of the hatchery. A little bit, we did a little bit of history research on the history of the site, and the site used to be a fish hatchery back in the 40s or 60s or something. So we'd love to have that conversation with you on what we can do. I think we have a lot of other ideas, we have a lot of other projects around. This will be 33.
One unit for kids, real simple. One unit for community center, somewhere kids can get resources.
We might have something. I think we might have something, but we can't publicly say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
You got a question? Income rate? Is it 80%?
80% AMI is about in the 70,000 or so. 65 to 70,000.
70,000. And how many people would you fit that criteria in Oak Park?
In Oak Park, like people who live in Oak Park?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
People that grew up in Oak Park. People that you're gonna move out of Oak Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question over here too.
Yes.
I just want to say, I don't want to get into more deep into parking stuff, but if anyone's interested or curious about what solutions there are to parking and how the land use is changing, I'm co-lead with Loyal Carey on the Land Use Government Committee. We don't have a planned next meeting yet, but it'll probably be in the next couple weeks. And we'll talk about, because the city is rezoning, and they've got their parking mandates, but there are solutions to parking that are very effective, that are outside of like requiring parking. But yeah, I just want to bring that up if anyone's curious about that or has questions, because I spent a ton of time like researching parking and land use, and so I have a lot of like understanding myself, but also I can give resources to anyone that is curious about that, like those specifics. So come up to me afterwards, and I can sign you up and email this if you're curious on any kind of stuff. I don't know what to say.
So when you say affordable, what are you looking at for a studio?
It's in the range. I think SHRA, the Sacramento Housing agency, their AMI was the 70K, and I think it goes between 1,600 to 1,800 or so. Almost like 15 to 17.
Those how many square feet they're going
About
for?
500
That's just a
square feet.
ballpark figure. So, I mean, and that's my thing, is that I know before from my children, school was special, and I didn't have the luxury of going up or going, and the thing is that, imagine that cost on a personal family, because we're not gonna be able to make that after that. But you understand that the cost of building something like that, and 1,600 is not minimal for a 500 square foot, So if you had to go 33 to bring it down to 1,600, that's.
1,600 is not the going rate right now at Oak Park. You can't rent a room for 1,600. True.
Well, the apartments around me are 600 square feet, and I believe they're between 12 and 14. But they're older buildings, they're obviously, I understand that there comes this new kind of amenities.
Yes. I mean, it's the regular amenities nowadays with in-unit washer, dryer, and honestly, we'll have solar panels on the roofs, so reduce electricity bills. Yeah. No, it'll be a mix of studios. The first floor will be a loft, so it's kind of have your bed above, and then your living space and the kitchen below. And then there will be one bedrooms as well.
It's also commercial, correct?
No, so there isn't commercial on this project. The idea of the loft space was that we wanted to try and keep a little bit of activation along Broadway, kind of what a commercial space would do. And so the idea was to really just attract young artists or aspiring artists who can, they have a separate living space on the mezzanine level, and then they have their studio on the first floor. They can display their art, kind of open it up to allow some activation along Broadway.
So no customers,
They can.
so parking, more parking.
During the day maybe.
Well, I was retired.
So let's see if, does anyone who wants to say anything not had a chance to speak yet? I think I saw a hand up here, was that correct? Or no?
Just kind of nice, I was curious about the rent. It is a touchy thing, man, because, I mean, there's a lot of things that people can't consider, like the cost of the land, the cost of the building. I mean, you guys got to cover it, so it's just kind of touchy, but hopefully it'll have some positive effects of it.
Yeah, rent, I'll be honest, it's not an easy conversation, right? Like you want cheap rent, but then, we want cheap construction too, but then we want a good product, and, we're not creating developers. And it's a difficult subject, and it's an important one to have. And I think that's why we're here. We're here to make ourselves available to have these conversations. But truth is, there isn't like a real easy solution. The only solution are maybe the affordable developers who get grants from the federal government to build affordable housing, right? But then they target the 30%, the 50% AMI, and you get this missing gap, which is kind of what we're trying to address with this project. And this is all privately financed. It's just conventional financing.
So when you talk about, I guess we're not talking about middle class, we're not talking about working poor, when we talk about housing and costs, we seem to be more talking about the very, very poor. And so any apartments or anything that's built here is never for those folks. So does that make sense?
Right, I couldn't hear the last part.
Wow, I'm usually pretty loud. So it's just, we're talking about the very poor. Does that make sense? And so we can build, and we're talking about someone making $70,000 a year, which for many people here is not doable, will not be doable. And I'm like, that's what we mean when we say affordable housing. 70 grand is nothing. We're talking about 30 grand and under are very poor people here. So it sounds like even though you guys are doing, wonderful service and putting in a new apartment complex, yay, it still doesn't fit the people who need it the most. And it sounds like that's not your job to take care of.
No, that's not true. It's not that it's not our job. We have different objectives in each project, right? And this project is not going to solve that 30% AMI. Our goal right now is to really listen and understand the community needs. And with the 30% AMI, there are developers that we've talked to and we've worked with who are building housing for that. And the idea, right, is that as new housing comes along, people will flock to the new housing. All the older housing stock becomes more affordable,
and rents kind of adjust that way. Because it's really hard to build new product, or a new house, or a new apartment complex, and rent it out for, at very low rents.
Was there like any focus groups or anything that asked the community what they want? Something good.
This one was, that's a good question. Which is why we're here today.
Good answer, right?
So we had, this project came online and was more just trying to get it approved quickly because, time kills a lot of deals. And so we worked with the city to kind of just do what was approved previously. And that's why this project, it takes a long time for these things to get approved.
And it is doing the same thing you're done.
Mind if I go to,
Thank you for your concept. I kind of agree with the observation here. $70,000 is almost, everybody understands it was in Grove, Rancho, Pagola, maybe Cantaloupe, or some area like that. But to be in a old park right off Broadway, it's not reasonable. So my thing is, you can't unring the bell. I understand you spend a lot of money in there. But what you can do going forward, right, is a community responsibility. How are we going to give back to the community? Now that you're here, right, and we won't be here now, right, because part of being a good neighbor, how are we going to give back to us? I work with these youth that are vandalizing, right? We have Think Twice initiative, anti-bullying, anti-baiting campaigns. That takes money. That's the kind of money that we don't have, but we see you do when you're in opportunities. So with all respect, what is your community obligation and responsibility back to us?
That's fair. I don't know, Adrian, I've done what I can to really talk to the community. We've listened to a lot of the artists, we did our mural, at our other project in Oak Park. I participated in the Oak Park cleanup. And that's my goal, right, is to really immerse myself in the community, understand what the community needs, and not just be that developer who comes from out of town, builds something, and then doesn't think twice about it. We're building to own this thing. Like, this is our baby, we're gonna take care of it, and we're gonna give back to the community where we can. Because we wanna be part of the community. We don't wanna be, we're trying to change the perspective of what a developer looks like. Yeah. So I'm always looking for opportunities to participate in Oak Park. I go have to take it all the time. We can have our contact.
Let's do just a couple quick, I see three more, make it quick, because we gotta move on.
I'll be really quick. Like just a brainstorm, like we did at East Square with the community benefits agreement, and it seems like you guys are also helping as developers that live in this neighborhood. Like for her specific situation, it seems like she's impacted by your development a lot because of the height of her building. Like super random idea, but if your rooftop is available to people, if that's the part of your development, could you like make an agreement that for families to visit and view from there, or like have a community benefit agreement with their family or families in that immediate vicinity? Would that be something that you'd be open to thinking about? Total brainstorm. Don't know what your development is like.
Well, I mean, because in all honesty, I put a rooftop terrace on top. I own a surf shop. We thought we could put walls up so that we're not overseeing our neighbors' yards. And now you guys are looking down at us when we thought we would have privacy in our bikinis and sunbathing, having our own little personal space. And then the other thing is that when I went to the planning department, my understanding is that these square buildings are going up and planned in 2 years to be all the way to Oliver's. That these are, that these buildings, there is an enormous amount of these in the works. And I do refer to them as square buildings, so they do not fit the Victorian homes that we have in our neighborhood. And they are planning all the way within 2 years to be all the way to Oliver's. And there is a lot of land, there are a lot of places on the outskirts, but I just don't feel like it's square, so that you can get maximum spaces to rent out. Fits, exactly what you're saying, has been there a long time, it's very beautiful. Our building, it's the oldest place in Sacramento.
Thank you.
Given the age that AMI population Do you have an idea of how far someone would have to move out of the downtown core to find a similar rent? What kind of commutes are you saving?
Sorry, what kind of?
So if your project wasn't built, how far would someone have to move out from downtown Sacramento to be able to find a place to live at a similar price?
At a similar price?
Right. Like would they have to move to the homeless? Would they have to move out of Sacramento County?
No.
No, this is the lowest region in the state, right? This is this is built as a Heights Mountain. You would put a lower cost?
Around, I know the prices around the city colleges or like that.
There's 15 seconds or less. All right, we got one more, 15 seconds or less.
I understand you're already on a timeline with this project, but is there room for actually more some brainstorming sessions where we can have some influence on the scope of this at all? Concerns.
The scope or kind of the architecture, the design, or?
Yeah, some of the concerns that have been being raised here. I don't know, I didn't know that we were having this discussion. I thought it was going to be more of a presentation, but if we can be prepared to come with other ideas, if that's something that can still fit in your timeline, I think there's an interest in this community to talk.
You're more than welcome to reach out and we can have a coffee chat. And then we need to set up spoken with a few other people in the community, especially Leo, coffee right now, store. So I'd love to have a coffee chat with you and brainstorm some other ideas. Well, there are some things still in the work. Design and want to put a little bit more art onto the building. So there are things like that, but with the programming and the unit count, it'll be really tough to shape at this moment.
Okay. So December the 21st, the Sacramento Community College, they're going to have a studio starting at 2360 downtown Sacramento. 2360, yes.
So new development in downtown Sac is, we're seeing 2360.
For a studio.
For a studio, yeah. It's expensive, housing is expensive these days. So I want to thank you guys for coming. Guess what? They didn't have to come here tonight. Entirely optional. So come and get grilled by the community.
Right, they asked to present to us.
They reached out and asked to present. So yeah, thank you guys. Can you guys just share your names one more time, just so folks remember?
Yes, Eric Soto. Yeah, we have a
card. That's where we're at in 2026. Thank you guys. Let's give one more round of applause for coming. And as I said, didn't have to be here, but chose to, and must gotta appreciate them for leading in, for doing community cleanups with us, and trying to at least hear from the community. There's a lot of developers that do far less than that. So with that, we're going to transition into announcements. I know we have some very exciting announcements today. I see people actually who've even dressed up for their announcement today. So let's start with you guys. Let's start with Sacktown Mardi Gras. I know there's at least two of you. I don't know, with that shirt, are you part of the Sacktown Mardi Gras crew here too? Could be. All right, you guys want to get up here and tell us what's going on with Sacktown Mardi Gras? I see you have flyers as well.
Hi everyone, once again, my name is Cornell Mark. I sat on the board with Joseph Thomas of Sacktown Mardi Gras. I am a native of New Orleans, and so I met Mr. Thomas, and so he brought the Mardi Gras here to Sacramento approximately 3 years ago. A lot of people still don't understand what Mardi Gras is, but Mardi Gras is a festivity, it's part religious, and it connects with a lot of different things dealing with New Orleans. Mardi Gras is a feast, and so it's before the Lent. so the glass is right before them, for those of you who don't know. I want to also say there's another part of Mardi Gras that has not been implemented here in Sacramento yet that deals with the Indians. And for those of you who don't know about that, so the Indians would help the slaves. Once the slaves ran away, the Indians were the ones that helped the slaves to stay free. So in New Orleans, we have Indians that parade during Mardi Gras, so that's why you see the Indians in New Orleans that's parade. So it's a tribute to the Indians that helped the slaves to remain free. So we are having a parade. We do a lot of different things. I don't know if y'all saw the parade. It's throwing beads and planting seeds, because behind Sacktown Mardi Gras, we deal with kids, we deal with elderly, we deal with housing, we deal with mental health. I collaborated with Mr. Thomas in Restoring Our Community, which is a nonprofit in Broadway. And so we just recently tapped into being able to work contract with partnership and Anthem to be able to provide wraparound services, which we have been providing for years. Didn't know that the nonprofits could get paid for that service. I'm going to let Mr. Joseph Thomas go ahead and talk to them, I'll build your own mind.
Here in y'all church. Hello everybody, how everybody doing? First of all, those who don't know me, haven't seen me on TV, haven't seen me parading around the streets with umbrellas. I am the founder of Sacktown Mardi Gras, Think Twice Initiative. We have 4 youth components that we are actively trying to get into junior high schools right now, anti-bullying campaign, anti-bullying campaign, where we are identifying the class clowns and the bullies in junior high school and trying to eradicate the school-to-prison pipeline. We feel as if we get these young kids mentors now, we can stop them from breaking in you guys' houses 5 to 6 years down the line. Absolutely. Right, so that is our calling. We just use the Mardi Gras as the platform in order to provide wraparound services, not only to these communities, not only to these kids, but we specialize in creating a safe space for 50 and older, right? If anybody knows about the Mardi Gras, it is our elderly, right? We still have to teach the lesson to the kids, what this is really about. It is an economical stimulant for the whole entire city of Sacramento. Mardi Gras has no color, it has no creed, right? If you want to know how New Orleans made $4 billion in 2 weeks off the Mardi Gras, Google New Orleans Mardi Gras 2025, and then we'll talk about which one we do, build apartment complexes or stimulate the Mardi Gras. So I'm just asking you guys to follow us at sacktownmardigras.com. We have a whole bunch of different components. We have a men's wellness initiative we do 2 times a month, where we get men together of all creeds and sharpen each other for our community. So it's just not about this event, but I'm asking you guys, if you can participate, please copy, paste, and share the flyer. We've got one of our teammates and one of our facilitators. He's passing out flyers right now. We all are a social club. I'm going to end it up here because I know we got some other people who want to share their message. We're a social club of nonprofits. We're about 20 different people restoring our community in Oroville, Crown Life Coaching in Sacramento. We provide wraparound services for the elderly, the ex-offenders, and the troubled youth. She provides holistic services for medical reviews and different things of that nature. We just use the Mardi Gras as the platform to serve the community of Oak Park.
When's the parade?
Oh, when is the parade? February 7th, Broadway, we will be set up at Oak Park Community Center, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're inviting all churches, all dance groups, all social clubs. If you don't want to do nothing but go get a piece of cardboard from Hobby Lobby and scribble Happy Mardi Gras on it, or your brand and your story, come walk in the parade with us. We welcome you. We're ending at McClatchy Park, 1 o'clock with a wellness festival. If you are a wellness vendor, or you know someone that wants a vendor, or get resources to the community, we're expecting about 2,500 people out that day, right? This is our 3rd year. So we're not a fly-by-night organization. Once again, we're a nonprofit organization, community-based, 501c3 status. And if you're looking for some support, you want to come volunteer to a good cause, we have 150 kids we mentor through the Roberts Family Development Center, where I also work. I've been working for the last 5 years. Thank you guys for your time.
February 7th, 10 o'clock right here, right?
I wanna also say something about Mr. Thomas. He is a nail doer. He's working on a component right now, and I think it's so unique because we have a lot of broken families. So he's working on trying to implement a program through being a doula where he can get other men to mentor, become doulas and mentor the fathers who aren't in the homes. So they can have a productive relationship, the mother and the father with the child. And I just think that's wonderful, so.
Thank you. All right, so please raise your hand if you have an announcement so that we can, all right, I see 1, 2, 3, right, keep high, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's do the math here. Or 7 or 8 or something. So like 2 minutes each, can we do that? Do you have another announcement?
We probably have to go like 1 minute, honestly, because we have to be out of here at 7:30.
Most of this.
So there's no way
Yeah,
we
okay.
can make it work.
Keep it tight. Do you have one? All right, let's start here. We'll go fast.
So again, I'm Sam Greenland, CEO at Optimist CDC, a nonprofit in Sacramento. So Leon Willis is here with us. One of our many projects is constructing the Oak Park Art Garden at the intersection of MLK and 14th. It's the spot that everybody goes by and says, what's happening there? When is that coming? So 2026, it will be built, it will be done. But the big fence that Habitat built for us, so thank you Habitat. Probably seen along the back, so beautiful. That's going to become a community mural. It's going to be even more beautiful. Led by Leon Willis here, our artist on contract to do this. And so he's created 3 concepts for what that fence could be. And we just launched a survey today. We're hoping to be back next month and see if we're allowed to come back next month to get a little bit of time to discuss the input on that survey. But it's alchemistcdc.org/mural. You can find the survey on weighing in on the 3 concepts, give some comments. And if that's too complicated, I just posted it in the OPNA group, so you can go and find my post there, find the link there. Did you want to?
What are the 3 concepts? Just give us the quick and dirty.
Oh, that's great. One one's like Sacramento focused, the other one's like Oak Park historically focused, and then the third one's like pictures of the actual art garden focus, right? Because the art garden itself has its own story. And I've been involved in the art garden since its conception, working with Optimist CDC, doing classes with Oak Ridge Elementary, doing art with different students. So we got a lot of footage. So I'd like your help. Please chime in and let us know what you think is good or bad, or what else you would like to see.
And I'll just note we have a note on the survey too. These are concepts, right? These aren't final designs. If you look at it, it's like, oh, like that photo doesn't match. It's against the concept, right? It just gives the idea of how it works. So you can brainstorm and be efficient on designing the final. And it's going to look great. I'm super excited.
Nice. Yeah, awesome.
Hey, y'all, good to see you. Here's Rashad. I'm excited to finally go to what you've been talking about. 6 months I've been covering this today. I'm stoked. Rashad Ben-Suri, Growth Factory nonprofit. We're an entrepreneur talent development organization. We're a 501c3. My background is big tech and venture capital, but I'm reformed. I'm paying my sins right now. And what we do is we take entrepreneurs from every stage, idea all the way to a product or a service that's generating revenue to give back to the community. And we want to instill a sense of community-led entrepreneurship, whereby we have high school students that are coming in either with no business pathways, no idea what they want to do, application intervention with regards to their performance in school, and find a way to get them excited about the passion and their ideas and form some sort of agency where they feel empowered and able to go to the next step. We just launched our first pilot program at Aggie Square over 3 months, September to December. 6 kiddos from Sac City or Sac High, River City, Warren, and Victory, and a good cohort of kids that came in with no idea what they want to do, and they walked out saying, I want to open a sandwich shop, I want to start a book aimed at teenagers, I want to do barbecue joints here in Oak Park. So we want to help kiddos, we want to help families that want to empower their children as an agency, and that motivation they need to create a pathway for themselves. Last thing I'll say is that we're Design Your Life certified. Essentially, we help students and adults understand more about what the professional, personal, and academic paths look like and how to compartmentalize the fire department differently. That's a big component of what we do. Our program is starting in 3 weeks at Aggie Square. We are taking applications, but we want to service anybody and everybody that's looking for entrepreneurship as their pathway. So we'll just pass around some flyers. We'll be here to take any questions. Really, this is happy to have you.
Thank you. We'll go to Angelina next. Angelina's been doing great work in the community for a long time. Total OG. What do you do?
Hello everyone, this is Angelina. I will keep it very, very short. I just wanted to let you know that we have Advanced Manufacturing Discovery Day event at Aggie Square. I will pass this around on January 27th, 5 to 7 p.m. If you have high schoolers specifically or young adults 16 to 24, we are providing some job training, but this day is specifically Discovery Day, so you know what are the manufacturing jobs in the region. There are actually so many vacancies, and hopefully young people would know about those opportunities, and they don't need a college degree. With some training, they can start those jobs and build their career. So if you come on this day, you're going to learn more about that. So thank you.
What are the ages? What are the ages?
Ages 16 to 24.
16 to 24, okay, wonderful. Does Habitat have an announcement?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hi everyone again, my name is Michelle, I'm with Habitat for Humanity, and I brought some postcards that we've mailed out in the community. So just in case you didn't receive it in your mailbox, our 9th annual Rock the Block project or program is coming back to Oak Park. We're accepting applications now through January 23rd. So if you own your home and you are under the 80% AMI here in Oak Park and are interested in doing some of those deferred maintenance projects or anything on your home that could be critical health or safety related, or beautification, including landscaping, fencing, all sorts of different projects that we do. We have our applications currently open January 23rd. Yes, sir.
Can somebody people get to Joey's house?
We actually are already meeting. Yes. Thank you for the call.
So I just wanted to also let people know, because I'm a Habitat for Humanity homeowner, so is my neighbor. The building in the back is an extension of that, because I have 2 special needs kids, and we use the Restore to furnish the entire inside of our home.
Thank
Habitat
you.
for Humanity.
Thank you. Yeah, we do have our resource. Thank you. I'll leave these here for anyone. I know Adrian's passing them out, so thank you very much.
All right, who's next?
Oh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aaron Jones. Again, I work for Congressman Doris Matsui during my day job, and I just want to talk about some of the changes that will be coming to the federal government and federal programs this year and next year. With HR 1, a lot of changes are happening, from food stamps to Medicare and Social Security. It's vital that we do everything we can to protect our community members, to make sure those who are relying on federal resources are able to continue to get them, no matter what the administration throws our way. So if any of you know of anyone, or if you yourself need assistance with a federal program, Social Security, Medicare, if you need help with immigration systems, or if you need help with any kind of federal program that exists, please contact your Congresswoman's office. The Congresswoman's office can be reached by calling 916-498-5600. That's 916-498-5600. You can also go to the Congresswoman's website, matsui.house.gov. I am also your neighbor. If you see me out in the community, or if you have an issue tonight, please come talk to me. I'm happy to work with you to figure out how we can make sure that the federal government continues to serve you, and to make sure that the tax dollars you pay come back to this community as the meaningful investments that all of us want to see here. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. I'll take the next one, and I have 2 things real quick. One is, anybody ever heard of the MLK March? Okay, when is that?
January 19th.
January 19th? It's on Monday, right? And so there is something called the extra mile. Anybody ever heard of the extra mile? What is it? It starts right here in Oak Park. So, right outside will be the very beginning of the march. We will march 1 mile, go to Sac City College, and then, remember how before we used to go to the convention center way before COVID? So the march will go all the way to the convention center, have a good time there, then COVID time it stopped. Well, now it's back. So now the march will go all the way to the convention center again. A whole lot of entertainment and various things going on there, vendors, whatnot. Now, two things with that. Sam Starks runs MLK 360, and he is low on funds. He's trying to get this whole thing together, but he's still short on funds. So if you know anybody who wants to donate, reach out to Sam if you know him, or contact me. I'm glad to relay the information. And then two, we need Oak Park to show up at the extra mile. Some years we're full out in the parking lot and it's great. We have a good time. The mayor comes out, all the city council members, whatnot, and we really rev it up. We need to represent this year. So we need everybody to show up. We need you to bring your neighbors. We need to make it a really good festive event. Oak Park Neighborhood Association will be here with a hot chocolate and coffee station. We'll be selling t-shirts, doing all kinds of stuff, which mentions the main thing that you came here today for, right? The main thing are these lovely t-shirts. Yes. All right. This is my second announcement. T-shirts. We've been doing this for a while. You've been hearing me say all kinds of cool stuff, hyping these things up. This is Corinthian leather cotton. Right? Now, one thing I didn't tell you before is, what's cool about these is they go with any outfit you could ever wear. Now, you might wear some tennis shoes, jeans, that kind of thing, right? You could do that. Or you might get super fly like me, right? Either way you go, it's gonna fashion. $25 goes to a good cause. It comes here. There was no admission at the door, no line, no cashier at the food station, right? But we do this to be able to run this to give back to the community every month. So appreciate your support. Once we're done, come line up. I know you're going to bum rush me. It's okay. You can do that. And we're going to sell some t-shirts. Appreciate it. We have two questions really quick. First question.
Isn't Sac City more than a mile?
Sac City, I don't know. I'm just going with the flyer tells me, all right? So the flyer is wrong. What time? Let's do the math. Second question. I'm sorry.
7:30 start. But I don't know what time you leave.
What time does it start, everybody? I don't have the flyer on. I'm sorry.
7:30.
Okay, here at 7.
Program at 8, they leave at 8:30.
There we go.
They'll start marching at 8:30, but they'll start talking at 8. We'll be doing coffee at 7:30.
All right, nice. Coffee in advance. It's going to be cold, but come get your coffee and hot chocolate. Does that answer your question, sir?
No, you guys have, I want to help push it. I know what you mean. I saw those years where we were super deep and then
Yes.
got out. So we do a lot of social media pushes.
Okay.
Do y'all have a PDF version of that that we can?
You know what? Do we have a flyer? I know we made our own.
We need a new flyer.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Between now and, let's say, I'm going to get in touch with Sam Starks, try to get whatever. Between now and, what's today, Thursday? By Saturday, I'm going to post on our Facebook page any kind of flyer you come up with, right? Take that and send it out. All right, thanks. Joe, question?
I was going to say, I think it would be wise to help the first round, extra round, is to create a couple extra flyers.
Extra flyers? Oh, yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, make sure.
People don't know that next couple of weeks. Birthday, that building, and that history of Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Right.
So it gives me
Okay, yeah, on the flyer, I'll get together whatever I can to try to represent all that. Thank you. All right, now let's go on to the next person. We're going to do it super quick. Quick one, okay. Come to you next week.
Real quick, I'm also with Leadership Sacramento, and we partnered with the Alphabet CDC to revamp their Soul Community Garden at 3733 Broadway. So we're having a ribbon cutting next Thursday. We laid out new bricks, we redid the kitchen, we redid some turf, and the tables will be roofing now. So if you're free next Thursday at 10 a.m., please come on by.
All right. All right, you guys have to be extra quiet because Nico always has awesome stuff, great stuff in the community. Here you go.
Thanks, Michael. The Active Square Community Fund is about $150,000 in funding to serve youth, entrepreneurship,
workforce development, or public art and placemaking. Applications are open now until February 15th, flyers available. We are taking applications for the biotech program, so if you know a high school junior or senior or community college student who wants to earn $2,800, getting hands-on with science, both at Aggie Square and on the main campus, please let me know. And if you know organizations that serve students or teachers who serve that age group, I'd love to make a presentation. Applications for that program are due on January 18th, so please let me know. Our You Belong Here Job Talk series is back for 2026, so once a month our HR representatives will help meet job seekers who want to get a job at UC Davis and want that process explained and broken down and assistance with their applications. So I have all the dates and registration information here. Once every quarter, representatives from UC Davis Health explain all about all the construction activity happening with UC Davis Health in Sacramento. So that event is coming up on Tuesday, January 20th. It's an online meeting. You register and then you get the link to go to the Zoom. And they answer questions and they tell you all about the construction, the timeline and stuff. And then finally, Wexford, our development partner at Aggie Square, is hosting these once-a-month outdoor programs called Eats and Bites, where we celebrate a local ethnic or nationality, and we do a movement and music and food. So the next event is coming up on Wednesday, January 14th, and we're celebrating Celtic dance and Irish dance, and having shepherd's pie. So if you would like to come to that, it's free and open to the public, and it's going to be a really good time. We're going to move and listen to music and eat some good food. We have the Brazilian capoeira group come back in October, November, and have a really great time with lesson with them. As always, if you want to get all of these details in your inbox, please see me. Just sign up for the Aggie Square newsletter. We publish once a month and try to carry all this information for you in one spot. Thanks.
And where's Waldo?
Where's Waldo? The construction team from McCarthy, who's building the hospital tower, has been putting a big cutout of Waldo, and they move him around all the time. And they're doing it partly for the kids who are in the hospital at Shriners, so that they have something to look at the construction site, but it's also just fun for all of us to go back now.
Really quick, some clarity around the march. If you search MLK 365, you'll get all the answers. They don't have a flyer, but they are promoting SAC-RT free rides again, so let people know that they can catch a ride. SAC-RT. Just a quick shout out to the land use committee. I've been at one of the meetings. I do have updates from City and the mayor's office. I've been talking to them, so just want to push people. If y'all are interested in getting some good info around what's happening in the park, a great committee, great leader who's pushing that. So make sure you go to those meetings. There's a lot of representatives who come out. Hoping to hear a date soon so we can get more updates. But yeah, I again with the mayor's office, but looking forward to connecting with you all there at those meetings. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I was going to announce. Just remind everyone, if you want to come out, we'll probably have a meeting in the next couple of weeks. If you're interested and not on the email list, come talk to me and I can add you. And I've been spending a lot of time learning about zoning because the city is changing zoning, so it's a lot going on. It does affect so much of how the city looks in like 10 years. So.
Oh, that reminds me that the applications are open right now for the city's planning academy. So if you want to know a lot from the point of view of the city, like how planning and zoning and approvals happen, you can sign up to participate in that planning academy.
Hopefully last but not least, mark your calendars, February 21st, we're doing another community cleanup day. We want to narrow in on a good location. If you have any great ideas of an area that needs cleanup, reach out to someone at the Oak Park Neighborhood Association. This is for February 21st, so get it to us soon. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. As I promise this will be quick. One is just a thank you for attending today. You know, there's a lot happening in the world right now. We got some more badges today about the farmers market, but OPNA is committed to maintaining and building our food access resources. And so if you want to get engaged with that, Isabel, Kim, Gracie are all leaders of our parks and land use and food access, not land use, parks, beautification, and food access committee. We have some ideas for how we can try to fill the gap here by the market. And then for our next meeting, which I believe is February 4th, is that what? February 5th? The first Thursday of February, in any case, is when we have our meetings. We're going to have the developer of, Sam, you'll like this. We're going to have the developer of the 37th and 1st Ave, the new housing project there, in kind of that part of Norfolk Park. So again, the idea is to try to get folks at our meetings so they have the opportunity to share and we can give feedback on these sorts of projects. And then we're also going to be talking air quality. There's a new, big new effort with a funded effort to improve air quality in Norfolk Park in South Sacramento. We're going to be welcoming the Sacramento Air District. We'll talk about that. And then it's also our elections next month. So all of the board members here who are doing great work are up for election. And the way OPNA does it is actually pretty radical. We put the vote in your hands. You can vote if you want to. You guys can vote all of us off the board, or you can put other people in. It's very democratic. It's hyper-democratic the way our bylaws are written. So if you're interested in joining, I know I'm not selling it right now, but if you're interested in joining the board, there are applications on our website. There's just some minimum qualifications, attended 3 meetings, live in the neighborhood, some other things. So we really are looking for more people power, and if this is of interest to you, if you're new, this is your first time, think about applying later in the year if you want to join us. But those board applications are open, and we're going to do our elections next month, February 5th.
This is your first meeting and you attend the March, and that'll be 3 meetings.
Yeah, it's there,
So,
sure.
this year, and this is your first meeting.
Yes.
That's good. Maybe you would like to.
Yeah.
Join
The
us.
elections are always exciting. They're always exciting. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Oh wait, tips. We have a tip jar, don't we? I know
Someone's being generous. Hey, we have a
but
tip
if you have a
jar.
couple of bucks in your pocket, feel free to leave some money on the way out, and we'll put it to good use.
Or if you have some Bitcoin or whatever.
Bitcoin too.
And don't forget your
All right, thank you, everybody.
t-shirt. Woo!
Don't forget to go back to